Hi there. Thank you for the nice messages. They are deeply appreciated. Later, gay footballer Josh Cavallo is moving on. First though, a queer ghost story featuring a mother who comes back from the dead as a vacuum cleaner has won a major film award. Yes, this is our top story. Thai horror comedy A Useful Ghost is actually a comment on how the country's state tries to erase things it doesn't like. The story also involves a gay couple whose family only accepts them for financial reasons and a self-described academic ladyboy. There's a lot going on here. It's won the grand prize at the Cannes Film Festival's Critics Week. Director Ratchapoon Boonbanchacho.
LGBT people in Thailand are so pressured to prove themselves that they do something good to earn a place in the society. And I think it's kind of parallel to what happens to the ghosts in the film. It's like a conditional acceptance.
Thanks to the upcoming, that haunted vacuum cleaner's also involved in a sex scene. So this is what we're dealing with. India's being ordered to rethink its labelling of queer people as high-risk blood donors. The Supreme Court's ruled there's no scientific evidence for saying if you're transgender or a gay man, you're more likely to have HIV or hepatitis B or C. Judges reckon this causes stigma and segregation. The guidelines have been in place since 2017. And gay footballer Josh Cavallo is leaving his team, Australia's Adelaide United, and heading overseas. The 25-year-old was the only out male top-flight professional player when he revealed his sexuality in 2021, going on to become a vocal LGBTQ+ advocate. We think he fancies a European side next. United saying he's helped to redefine the role footballers can play in society. Hi there. Later, the homophobe who reckons gay men are obsessed with him. Spoiler alert, they're not. First though, there's a bit of a thing on TikTok with people who were raised by two mums basically talking about how positive it's been for them. Comes off the back of a recent study in your favourite reproductive biomedicine news outlet, Reproductive Biomedicine Online, that kids with lesbian mothers totally thrive. Here's Cali boy Colin on his experience.
From the start, there was no difference in how we viewed them, treated them, because they are very much both my mother. Just because one gave birth to me, that does not make me view my other mother any differently. I am the product of being raised by both of them. Birth doesn't matter.
The study I mentioned, that was conducted over a 21-year period. It found the kids of lesbian mums were actually more resilient because their family dynamic makes them think out of the box. Next, a delusional, homophobic bedwetter's been convicted of assaulting a gay man outside the Arsenal football stadium in London. James Billings' defence was he was being stalked by homosexuals and that gay men at his gym had crazy obsessions with him. Google his pug ugly face and you'll see why that can't be true. The 41-year-old threw a plank of wood at his victim's head last November, possibly because he's deep in the closet and overcompensating. And the first out gay player in America's National Basketball Association has gotten himself a husband. Jason Collins has tied the knot with his long-term partner Bronson Green, a film producer, posh, in Texas. He came out in 2013, retired from basketball the following year, and got engaged at the Los Angeles Lakers Pride Night in 2023. They are also a basketball team. I just checked. My sporting knowledge is minimal. No time to tell you that America's only all-lesbian film festival has been taking place in Kentucky, Cinema Sisters. Harry Potter's Wicked Grandma set up a fund to pay for gender-critical legal action. And she won't be happy about this. An anti-transgender billboard ad for a failing UK newspaper has been covered up with a giant spotty cartoon dachshund called Savaloy. Hi there. Later, a spectacular own goal by transphobic right-wingers. First though, the persecution of LGBTQ+ people in Uganda's ramped up in the 2 years since the world's worst anti-queer law came in there. Human Rights Watch alleges widespread police abuse sanctioned by the government, the likes of harassment, entrapment, extortion and arbitrary arrests, up to life in prison for consensual gay sex under the Anti-Homosexuality Act, which has also empowered people in the African country to attack anyone queer. Oya Manyeko is from Human Rights Watch.
They've basically made it such that people living in Uganda who may identify as LGBT or not live in fear of criminal persecution, but also of their communities attacking them because they think they may or may not be gay.
Thanks to France 24, there's also the death penalty for something called aggravated homosexuality. An anti-transgender, bigoted Christian schoolteacher who reckons it's okay to be an anti-trans bigot cause God has lost a case for unfair dismissal and religious discrimination. Sadly, we can't identify her, but she refused to refer to a pupil with a male name and pronouns, despite the child's parents requesting this. The teacher from Nottinghamshire in England was also accessing the kid's private files without authorisation. The pupil had to be moved to a different class for his own protection. Most of the 27 countries in the European Union are criticising Hungary because of its anti-LGBTQ+ laws. Member states including France, Germany, Ireland and Lithuania have issued a joint statement saying fundamental EU values are being disregarded. Hungary's recently banned pride events because the sight of glitter and hot pants could turn children fruity. It's LGBTQ+ Domestic Violence Awareness Day in Australia. Signs of abuse specific to queer relationships can include isolating victims, so don't tell anyone, they won't understand us, or threats to out someone. More than 60% of LGBTQ+ people say they've suffered domestic abuse, but incidents are rarely reported due to a historic lack of trust in authorities. And guess why right-wing US lawmakers are ignoring a report they commissioned about gender-affirming care? Well, that's right, because it's come up with the wrong answer. Republicans in Utah have been sitting on this for nearly a year now, after it concluded transgender healthcare is very effective and a ban in the state can't be justified. Hi there. Later, queer Gen Z is not on board with labels. First though, the victim of a homophobic machete attack in Australia on the pathetic $100 fine given to his teenage attacker. Frank Benici was walking with his partner in Victoria last year when 3 little closet cases, all boys, started shouting abuse. One of them, a 14-year-old, slashed him in the arm. It remains numb and he might not regain the full use of it.
I don't know how that can happen where someone can just carry weapons, regardless of their age, use them free willingly, and their punishment is a $100 fine. It's a joke, it's a slap in the face. They're committing crimes, and if you're committing a crime, you're a criminal. So stop treating them as little babies or little kids. They are criminals.
Thanks to Network 10, Victoria's fast-tracking a ban on sales of machetes, the first of its kind in Australia. Malaysia says it opposes LGBTQ+ culture and it's trying to get an upcoming Pride event cancelled. The government reckons Pride Care, queer stories and sexual health awareness, which is happening next month, challenges social norms and religious values. A minister says any effort to normalise LGBTQ+ is against the law and the country's faith, morality and harmony must be defended. Shut up. Next, a screeching U-turn. Organisers of Download Festival in the UK say there'll be gender-neutral toilets at next month's event. Comes after the announced plans to follow new government guidance, forcing trans women to use male facilities and vice versa. After a shed load of criticism, I said shed load, the festival says acceptance is at the heart of Download, and actually most of their toilets will be gender-neutral. And Gen Z queer people looking for love are so over labels. A survey for dating app Hinge finds almost a third of LGBTQ+ users feel those neat categories for sexuality and gender identity can be limiting and inauthentic. Plus, compared to millennials, they're 39% more likely to have reconsidered their sexuality based on an unexpected attraction. By the way, Gen Zs are born between 1997 and 2012, Millennials between 1981 and 1996, and yes, I did just Google that. No time to tell you that. America needs less LGBTQ+ graduates, according to the White House. Could also do with less orange convicted felons and sexual abusers in high office, no? The Union Cup, Europe's biggest inclusive rugby tournament, starts today in the Norwegian capital Oslo. And Sao Paulo Pride gets going later in Brazil. Hi there. Later, why Stonewall Lego could soon be on sale. First though, a trans-inclusive football tournament. Let the Dolls Play is on Sunday in London, coinciding with an FA ban on transgender women in the competitive women's game. The tournament's been organised by inclusive side Gold Diggers FC. You might remember their players and supporters protest walk recently across London against what they call the cruel and cowardly ban. This is from their socials.
We literally are just a community of women who want to play football, and the FA are supposed to facilitate that, and all they're doing is making it harder.
It's also what it says. It's trying to remove trans people from public life. It's trying to remove the support network from them. It's just chipping away at this sense of belonging that these trans women have.
Gold Diggers FC say they're putting the all back in football where it belongs. South Africa's Human Rights Commission's taking legal action over an anti-queer sign outside a shop in the Eastern Cape. It said, LGBTQ+ people not welcome, save our children. The owner, who might be trying too hard to disguise the fact he's gay, claims the queer lifestyle's being forced down his throat. He wishes. And we're a step closer to seeing a Lego version of the Stonewall National Monument to Queer Rights in the shops. The designs made it to the finals of a competition by the company to get an idea mass-produced. Includes a queer man on a date with a basketball player, a gay marriage proposal, and a non-binary drag queen. No time to tell you that. You've got Out Loud Festival this weekend in West Hollywood with Lizzo and Remy Wolf headlining. Oh, and Pride Month starts on Sunday. I'm Kev McGraw. See you next week.